Let's learn about formr's reusable R code feature. Because as you may have experienced in formr, you tend to write a lot of R code. And you will write even more R code as your designs get more complex. And there is a principle in programming which is called dry. Don't repeat yourself. But you may have found that you have to repeat yourself throughout different surveys, throughout different items. For example, maybe you provide feedback plots to participants at different points in a run and you want them to look alike, which is cool. We love theming, but you have to define the ggplot2 theme within every command, or at least within every markdown session, which isn't really effective, right? You're repeating yourself and you now want to change some font size and you have to go to 8 places, and that's all very time inefficient. Or maybe you have a function that calculates something at different points within the run, and you've found a bug with it. It doesn't work as you expected and you want to fix it. And great, you have fixed it, but maybe you've managed to only do that for the first occurrence of that specific function, and you've forgotten about the second, and now you're in a big mess because the run is behaving very strangely, and you in your mind have done a check and you've found that, well, I fixed the bug, what's going on? Well, basically to prevent all of that, formr has this reusable R code feature under settings and R functions. Let's zoom out a bit and think about what this does. Basically, everything you write within this big text box, which is very similar to the CSS and JavaScript injectables, is just injected at the top of every R code that runs within formr. So every calculate item, every skip unit, every show if, every markdown within surveys, these R functions are right there. So for example, you may want to define a ggplot2 theme, you do it here and you just use it within later functions. Or you have a function that calculates something, you define it here once, and you can just use it within later R code blocks. We also have a little feature if you write something like x equals 1 and press save. You will see setting saved, and also here a little R syntax is valid. We've built in a little function that basically does a parse command on the R code you have here. So it's not going to find every mistake you do, but it's going to find basic syntax mistakes. So if you, for example, do something that isn't valid syntax or something, you can do this and get the error printed right here. So unexpected string, right? It's the same. You see that we did just parse and text equals this. So don't be confused if you see something red here. We just thought that because this is global and this will be injected in every OpenCPU session, it is very important that your R code that is entered here is actually at least valid R code, right? And it's not going to crash everything downstream. So you have this right here. And also we've done a little copy for LLM buttons if you get an error, because debugging with LLMs has become quite standard. And we want to enable you to do, for example, go to the chatbot of your choice and then just paste. I was too fast. Let's wait for the page to load. Yeah, here we go. And just paste this, and you see we've got a little nice debug this our syntax error. This is the code, and this is the error. And let's see what the great big Gemini thinks about our little mistake. Yeah, we get quite a good explanation and some options on how to resolve this. Let's say this is what we wanted. We can go back, paste it here, save again, and see, oh well, this is valid now. So hopefully you now have an idea what the problem is that we try to solve with this feature. what the global implications are of putting our code here, and what this R syntax and error messaging and copy for LLM buttons are all about. We think this can really simplify complex server designs, make them more maintainable and thus more accessible to more researchers out there. So as ever, if you encounter any problems or questions about this, if something isn't behaving as you would expect it, that's very valuable feedback to us. So don't shy away from going on the GitHub repository and writing us through the issues or discussion tabs around here. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great time with our functions, and we can't wait what research you will do with it. Bye-bye.